We're about to go on a run. Similar. I honestly think though, and I was saying this the other day to somebody, that if and when Arsenal do win the Premier League, I think you could see Arsenal, if not carve out a dynasty, we're going to be there or thereabouts.
I think it's way too. No, I don't think it's one and done.
Now, hear me out.
It is way too early.
Hear me
to
out.
Say that.
What I'm saying, I'm not saying we're going to
This is where you just get
win the league every single year, but the trophies are going to be coming on a regular basis.
Right.
Look, the way I see
Trust
it.
me.
Actually, by the way, I want to just
Click
read
that.
out the poll results out. So, 37% of the chat says 2 trophies. Then 26% says 4, 19% says 1, and 18% says 3. So about
how many says 1?
19% of the chat says 1 trophy.
Oh, meaning that
They think
As in
more
you're going to
than
win 1 trophy.
Oh, right.
I'm sure, and then everyone else. So there was.
I'm saying
votes.
at least
so
2.
That's what 1,200 people abstaining, aka saying 0.
I'm
So
saying
That
it-
wasn't it,
that's
that'll be
what
myself.
I'm going to take. Yeah, although to be fair, actually I said 2. But for me with Arsenal and the whole dynasty thing is like it's. I know we've just watched Man City do it, but I feel like with Arsenal, if you win this season without having the strike force that I think most teams would need to win the league, like I do think this is in terms of performance as a front line. I said this before and I'll happily say it again. It's one of the worst performing front lines I've seen to win a league title.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about the other teams that have
that
won
is a
league
very
titles,
premature thing to say. There's still 14 games left.
Yeah,
If you look at the
if Gyökeres goes and scores 15 goals in the last 14 games, then I'll change, or like something, then I'll change my mind. But I think so far,
I'd also be
from what
growing-
I've seen from
growing
your front
wings.
line, the number of changes that has to be made, the injuries, you don't know who your best left winger is, you don't know who your best striker is, right wing is locked down
or
by
is it
Saka.
that we've got 2 quality left wingers in Trossard and Martinelli?
No, but like if you're a league title winner, you have a league title winning left winger for the most part. What you have instead is Player of the Year
Strength in
Declan
depth.
Rice, and just you've got an amazing midfield and defence, and you've got a great goalkeeper. That's what's winning you the league. Your attack is not winning you
That
this
is just
league.
a euphemism for saying we got strength in depth.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that I don't think your attack is if you didn't have the amazing back line that you had, your attack would be costing you a league here. But they're so good that it's fine.
But with respect, Dylan, that's a misnomer because the saying normally is that it's leagues that win titles.
Defenses win titles.
Sorry,
No. I know that, but what I'm saying is when I compare I'm not saying like I think Arsenal's front line are underperforming this season. Saka I think is underperforming compared to how good he can be. Gyökeres underperforming. Martinelli's underperforming compared to what we've seen before.
Madueke disappointing.
Madueke's been disappointing. Trossard, to be fair
Martinelli
to him, has been
disappointing.
great.
Yeah.
Now the wake he is.
He's got like what?
You're right.
No, he's got like 1 goal and 1
Statistically,
assist.
okay, yeah, but I mean, other people will tell you he's been a breath of fresh air with the way he picks up the ball, runs at defenders.
Yeah,
What-
no,
what
but
type
I
of-
feel like end product wise, they haven't been as good as they can be.
Yeah,
Whereas
but you
your
talk
defence,
about
your
end
midfield
product,
have.
and we're 6 points clear. So
Yeah, but
what
you're
more
not-
end product do you need, my
because
friend?
your end products come from your defence.
Laurie.
No, but
is
you
what I'm
can't
trying to
win
say.
games with just defence, Dylan. You have to score, right? And if you look at the Premier League, we scored the second most goals in the Premier League.
I know, but
Yeah, but
that's
score them
not
from
come
set
from your attacking
pieces.
line.
It comes from all around the team. When Spain won the World Cup in 2010 without a striker,
See, this is
Yeah,
when
but
Arsenal fans become
every single
delusional.
team that's won
Then
the
what?
league, from as long as I can remember, have had at least one attacker who's just gone on and had a mental season.
And so
be that Erling Haaland, be that Mo Salah, be that Jamie Vardy, be that Didier Drogba, be that Ronaldo, be that none of your attackers have been amazing, and I think it's just
Your second highest scorer
I'm
is
trying
own
to
goals.
credit. By the way, I am trying to credit just how good your defence
Yeah.
and specifically Declan Rice and Zubimendi have been. They are winning you a league title. I think your
yeah,
attacking
but you never
line,
framed it in that way.
because
You
you
were
didn't let me
trashing the
finish.
attack.
You didn't let me
No,
finish.
but I've heard you on this narrative before. So
Because I think I back it. I think it's true. I think your
how
attacking
about
line
we
have been
found another way
underperforming
to win
massively.
games rather
That's
than
the
Yes,
only
trashing
way.
the attack?
that is exactly what you've done.
It's your only
That
way
is
to
what
win
you've done.
games.
But
that's
what,
fine. That's what you're good at.
But what I'm
Cool.
what I'm then trying to
No
say
probs.
is when you then talk about a dynasty, the thing that I am looking at with this is Arsenal will have to buy possibly a new goal scorer this summer and definitely 100% a new left winger, possibly a new left back, and maybe a new attacking midfielder. Right? We've
all
seen
good.
with Liverpool, they've signed a load of attacking players. I saw it with the first half of the season with United. It takes a minute for when you sign a load of attacking players to gel. So I do think next season, if you maybe you do go on and win the league, but it's not going to be easy because also Liverpool are going to be more settled. Man City, whether Pep's here or not, are going to be more settled. So I think it's to say that you're going to win like 4 of the next 5 league titles you're going to win.
No, I didn't say that.
Win trophies left, right, and centre all of a sudden. I do think you're underestimating how long it'll take for possibly a new front line to gel, and also what the teams behind you are going to be doing next summer.
Listen, I recognise that other teams will try and strengthen, other teams will get better. You might get your surprise element as well. What I'm saying though is that I think that once we won the world title, I'll revert into my boxing for a minute. Once we won the title, come May this year, I think that will put us in such a good stead. I think we'll be able to attract even higher calibre of players than we are at the moment.
For sure.
I honestly believe that won't be the end of our little trophy winning run. So in other words, what I'm saying is we waited so long to win a trophy. If we win the Premier League this year, as I firmly believe we will do so, do not be surprised if we go on a little run over the next 3, 4, 5 years where we're regularly winning trophies.
I have no doubt you'll be competing for trophies all the time. But because
winning.
Winning trophies. I think so. I think you'll be at least competing with them. You're confident you'll be winning with them. But I think that you're going to have to spend, like Man City, they win a league title and they go and spend. They win a league title, they go and spend. They win a trophy, they win the treble, they go and spend.
I don't think Arsenal have an issue with that anymore.
What I'm saying is that I'm like, that's what I just think Arsenal definitely need to do. You might, and you probably will do it.
They will. I don't think the Kroenkes are going to stop here. They've for years now.
The history of sport shows, any sport you care to name, when you're on top, that is when you need to do your due diligence.
It's about being reactive, not being proactive.
Yeah. So
US Schooner says the whole point of a strong attack is scoring goals and winning games. Our squad can do that. There are many ways to kill it. No, I don't disagree. You found a different way to win things.
People need to give us more credit for that.
But we've also
I am giving you lots of credit.
We've also said fair play to however you end up winning the league.
No. A lot of people have been just
but not me
trashing
specifically.
the attack.
But also, this guy right here.
But the stats on Viewer Attack have been legit. Like, we're allowed to call that out.
I've called it out. I've said that.
So what's the difference? It's just because we're doing it.
No, but what I'm saying is people are using that now. They're running with that narrative. Dylan was about to go down that route until I pulled up on you. You were about to start saying, you won't achieve a dynasty because your attack is trash. And I'm saying, actually, yes, we might be misfiring, but you've got to give Arteta and the coaching staff credit. They've come up with other ways to win games. Sure. For example, set pieces, corners.
And you're amazing at it.
And
defence
is rock solid.
It's how you do it.
Yeah, but
at some point you will need to have a potent attack, because there's no I cannot see a world where Liverpool and City are not better next season.
Yeah,
I can't see a world.
I'm very into. Okay, so the way I maybe phrase it,
you don't think we'll get better?
No, I'm not saying that. But you've had you've had no one really putting any pressure on. To be honest, this season is in a different way to Liverpool last year, but no one has been consistent enough to be able to actually put pressure on. Every time maybe you haven't capitalised on extending the gap and someone they haven't been able to close it enough to put pressure and get close to you. So like Liverpool last year, who ran away with it early doors, this time last year the league was basically done. Like next season, I don't expect Liverpool to be how they have been this season. I don't expect City to be how they are this season.
No, but you got to remember, Liverpool they broke transfer records.
Of course they did, but
and what's it got them?
But that's a silly argument. Such a silly argument.
Firstly, that's your argument. You said that teams are going to spend more money and get better.
But firstly,
Liverpool spent record sums of money,
but they also haven't finished. That you also forget that last season they spent no money. They only bought in Chiesa, so their project is starting now. Jurgen Klopp left. They didn't give him any money on a slot, and the project starts now. The same way that you're 6.5 years into your project, while Liverpool and City were busy winning titles and Champions Leagues, you were in a different stage. Now you're at the stage where you're going to go and win stuff, and Liverpool and City are in their rebuild. It's a cycle. It's a cycle of football. Whether or not Pep's there next season, that's another thing. Whether Arne Slot's there next season, who knows? We know that Liverpool are going to definitely strengthen in terms of centre-backs. They need that. Obviously, what happened with Diogo Jota caused a massive, massive thing and ripple effect through Liverpool and the football club. I think, obviously, having the form of Virgil and Konate, losing Trent, losing Diaz, the McAllister and Gravenberch not being at the same level, all of those things, they all need to be upgraded. So there's that. Look at City as well. They dropped off this time last year. Their squad was stale. They'd done a quadruple, and that's fair enough that squad was at the end of the cycle. Yes, they've spent money. They spent money last January in the summer. It takes time to build a squad and get to a point.
But that's what we've done. We had 3 years till we finished runners up. So now we're about to go on a run.
Maybe you
exactly
will,
what I'm
but
saying.
what we're saying is neither of us expect Liverpool and City to not be up there, probably there or thereabout, challenging you more than this season. So you're strengthening in the summer, and then next year, let's see what happens with City's rebuild.
Fine.
Let's see what happens with Liverpool's. But you should be going into your era. You've had 6.5 years of growth.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
So you might
go on a run.
But I think that this thing
exactly
this notion of that you won't need to have good potent attacking players, it's rubbish.
No, Abby, I didn't say that.
You can't bank on set pieces forever.
I said that you need to do your due diligence and improve when you're at the top. That is the best time to improve a team. I firmly believe we'll do that. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It is one of those things where we can revisit this in the summer. We can revisit it this time next year.